of maps for any disaster is very important. So we need to know what part is affected, how is affected, everything is important. So how many of the students feel like you also want to be part of rebuilding the Kerala? I see very few hands. Okay. So Openstreetmap is open software, not a software, is like a map made by people like you and me. So everybody edits, like it's just like a Wikipedia. So you can contribute to map. So usually only the big corporations or the government can create a map or something like that, because it is too vast area for, if you consider the Kerala, if you want to map Kerala, entire Kerala, only the government or the big organization like Google or Bing or like here, they can only map. So this was like in 2003 in some like England. So they started a collaborative way of mapping entire world. So that was started and it is called Openstreetmap. So anybody has heard Openstreetmap before this name? Okay, few of them has heard. So Openstreetmap anybody can control. And the data available in the Openstreetmap is free to use. That means you can download the entire data in the Openstreetmap and use for your projects, in school projects or high school project or in the college. So that some analysis like if what percentage of the population can reach the hospital nearby hospital in 10 minutes. Like if your college is there in a taluk, what percentage of the population can reach the nearby hospital, we can find it out by the map data. So that is why we have to get the data. We have to have a map, open map, so that everybody can download and write programs to get the what percentage of population can reach the hospital. So that is why the importance of open map. So the method is like you will have a digital imagery. So on the top of that you will be either coding like we will be tracing the roads, or you will be mapping the buildings like in a polygon. So we keep on tracing the roads so that we have the proper map of any place. So other than that, we can have mobile applications which record the GPS traces of the road. Then we can map, like get the data, GPS traces, and map that area. So this was, even though Openstreetmap started in 2003, in India this was the condition in 2007. So after that, people started getting to know this Openstreetmap and started mapping, and now we have this feature. So how it has happened? It is just because of the community. So many people around India started mapping India. So we have the free data available. So if I should start my story, like in India, every 3.5 minutes, one died on the road. So this back in 2007, when I was in the college in third year, so I saw an accident in front of me, and it was a road accident between a bus and a bike. So the bike rider was very badly injured, and he was taken to my car, and I started driving to the nearest hospital. So, but at the end, he died. So I started thinking, why the road is so badly designed? Like, where are the funds going? So I started writing to the PWD, Kerala PWD. Then I understood that there is no proper data available at that point of time. They were starting to build the map data with ASTP. So I started writing about the roads in Kerala in Wikipedia. So if you consider the accident rate in India, about 63% of fatal death happens on national highway and state highway. That is around just 3 lakh kilometers around India. So this is the map which we collaborated and made for Kerala. This is a state highway map. So we started mapping each state highway. Kerala have about 77 state highways, which comes around 4,300 kilometers. So we wanted to map because we had the article, we didn't have a good map. So we started mapping. We found that the Openstreetmap was the best place to map, because we cannot use other mapping things using it in the Google, using it in the Wikipedia. So after finishing the state highway map in Kerala, we started mapping the national highways of India, because many people die on the national highways compared to about 33% of fatal that happen in the national highways. So then we started mapping national parks. We know the importance of the national parks. If we don't know the proper data, like national parks will be reducing, the climate change happens. So if there are the places where the people analyze the voice of history to know how much the national park area is reducing and all. So when in the Kerala rescue, I was part of Kerala rescue team. We started we started on the August 6th. The strikes started 6th August 12th. Then I was part of the Kerala rescue team by August 16th. So we had map where these are the data from that. We got the locations of the rescue requests. So the helicopters were sent to that places where maximum requests were coming. So this is where this is based. The base map is used here is Openstreetmap. So there was another application being built during the Kerala rescue time. This is to know which are the areas spreaded. So this is also Openstreetmap. So another dashboard which we created during the Kerala rescue time is Kerala is process.kerala.rescue.in. So we can filter the which are the rescues coming in the last 3 hours, last 6 hours, this day, so that we know the number of requests coming in each period actually. So after the floods, Kerala State Remote Sensing and Environment Centers, this is the map. Here also the map data is from Openstreetmap. Because why we are using Openstreetmap is other maps are this is another usage of Openstreetmap. Then the KICD has done mapping of all the electric lines with with the help of IC force. So even the Niti Aayog uses Openstreetmap. Why we are not using, this is another 3D mapping of Trishur, if you know. This is a 3D mapping of the Trishur area. Even the trees are mapped because in the city the trees are very important. So why we are not using Google Maps? So if you use the Google Maps in your website, after some views you have to pay Google. So the government cannot afford that much. That's why the free data is important, free maps are important. So during the Kerala Fest time, we asked the help from the international community so that help mapping Kerala. So many people started helping. We started for the 5 districts, mainly for the flooded areas. So they helped, and about 2,200 volunteers across the world helped to map Kerala. They made about 4 lakh edits. They added 4 lakh buildings and 10,000 kilometers. We contacted Facebook to help to map the Kerala. So they also helped in mapping Kerala. So they added about 1,000 buildings. They added 30,000 kilometers. So this is the current status of the mapping in Openstreetmap. So in Kerala we have 60,000 kilometers right now in Openstreetmap, and we have about 3 lakh buildings in Kerala. Actually, estimate of the number of buildings in Kerala is 1 crore. So we have a long way to go. So here is a place which students have helped in mapping. So we have done few. So what are the benefits for the students? They will learn how to map. Many projects many users So many people uses the data from the Openstreetmap to create the projects. Many help in creating the data. That are the two ways the students have done. And they will develop a lot of IT skills. They will get to know the international community, so they can interact with the international community. The people, you can be part of different hackathons like that. So this is the mapping done after Kerala in Vidya Academy. How many people are from Vidya Academy here? How many students are there in Vidya Academy like Vishnu? No one is from there. So they added about 118 kilometers. This is just about in single day they edited about 4,000 edits and they added 2,800 buildings and 118 kilometers of roads. So this is a few pictures of them. Another initiative they had taken earlier was like mapping the entire Vellur Panchayat actually. So this was done back in like 2015. So this was the team behind the mapping. So it was a part of their NSS activity. So they were given the credit from the Panchayat for the NSS social credit single credit program. So this is the mapping which was happened in NIT Calicut in 2009. So across the world, students help in mapping Openstreetmap actually, so that we have a free map. So what are the benefits of educators? They can give like they are working on a real-time project which have a lot of impact actually. So they can the students become like a global citizens. They can work with the different people across the world, and the data which they create will be reused by everyone. So these are the two websites whether the educators can help go and learn how to have the Openstreetmap as part of their curriculum. So many teachers across the world do this actually. So they make the Openstreetmap as a part of their curriculum. So these are the basics of Openstreetmap. So how is the format? This is the one node. How is a node? What is a node? What is a weight? What is a tags, etc. So how the data is created is Openstreetmap has something called ID editor. So this is a simple editor which you can have. We can map like a node means it is a point, like it can be tree, it can be a ATM or something like that. If you want to draw a building or a road, it will be like building will be a collection of ways. A road will be just a way. So other than that, we have different mobile apps helping to like mapping Openstreetmap, like street complete voicing. And so if you want to download the entire Openstreetmap, you can use like hot or spot route. If you want to just query like which are the ATMs in Kerala, which are the hospitals in Kerala, which are the like that. If you want to have a query, you can. Which are the schools in Kerala? You can have a query in Overpass API. So that is one place. If you want to download the entire history of Openstreetmap, you can go to the planet. So actually, open data is the features. Like every data, every government, everything need to keep the data which are not sensitive to be kept open actually. So the Government of India had released one policy called the National Data Sharing and the Accessibility Policy. So which was it is in 2012. So with that, what the intent of the policy is like, whatever insensitive data which is created by the public fund, which means government fund, should be shared with the public. So few of the things are like police and crime data, transportation data like road data, like emergency calls. Like why the open data is important? During the Kerala rescue, there was two systems actually. One was open one, which is keralarescue.in. Another was like a toll-free number. That was a closed one. So nobody knows how many calls went into the closed system like a toll-free number. Whether they got the help, nothing was known. When we kept it in the keralarescue.in, it was an open. Even the people people who are helping people. So that is the importance of open data. So you can, Government of India conducts like hackathon based on the open data they release through data.gov.in. So even they have also released few GIS data, especially the ISRO and like NSDI. So we are looking into that data and going to import in Openstreetmap. So few of the companies using the Openstreetmap is like Apple Maps uses the Openstreetmap. If you have seen the map in Facebook, it is based on OpenStreetMap. Google, like Amazon Logistics, for their analytical purpose, they use. They have OpenStreetMap. They also contribute. These are the companies which contributes to the OpenStreetMap also. Like Uber uses for their new project, like Uber movement, which analyzes the traffic in each cities. So other company is Mapbox. Even NASA uses the Openstreetmap for the places for their world view while sharing the satellite images. Wikipedia and Wikimedia Foundation, all the projects uses Openstreetmap data. So these are the few links which are for the Openstreetmap community in India. One of our website is openstreetmap.in. There we have a Facebook, Twitter, and GitHub link. So if you want to organize any Openstreetmap mapathon in your college, you can either contact any of these so that we can help you out. This is a international sites actually. So this across the world, next week we are celebrating the OSM Geography Awareness Week. So students, teachers, everyone helps to create data in the Openstreetmap. So we can have a free map. So I will share a video.
In 2010, after an earthquake in Haiti, online volunteers became part of a movement that is creating a free and open digital map of the world.
In an emergency, you just need data from wherever.
It's important that the information is open and available to everyone, because some situations we don't know what's going to happen. It's a surprise.
What is remote mapping?
Remote mapping is sort of an interesting new phenomenon that's happened probably since about 2010 in Haiti. We saw a real push of volunteers coming online to help create map data where none existed before.
Map data helps humanitarian efforts, not just in crisis. It helps communities like Kibera in Nairobi, Kenya, prepare, develop, and respond to needs at the local level. It's a big job, and not every place is mapped like we may believe.
Developing or establishing data is a very huge step in kicking off the process of changing things. And that's the point at which the maps become very useful.
When the typhoon happened, we realized that there were no good maps of the Philippines, that there needed to be maps so that our personnel would know where to go and what they would find when they got there. So we partnered with the humanitarian Openstreetmap team to help them and help us build out a base map for the Philippines.
Think of Openstreetmap as Wikipedia for maps.
Openstreetmap is a free and open map of the entire world. It's primarily edited by volunteers. We create everything in the commons. It's completely open, available for anyone to contribute to and anyone to use.
How do volunteers help?
The way that a volunteer can help is by looking at satellite imagery and picking out different predefined objects and saying, okay, I see a house, I can trace the edges of that house. I see a road, I can trace the line of that road. I see the edge of a forest, I can trace the edge of that forest.
MapGive is making it easier for new online volunteers to take those first steps in helping build an open, free map of the world and become digital humanitarians. Learn how to map in 3 steps. Get an Openstreetmap account, practice mapping, then get connected with a task on the MapGive site. You'll get the skills to map. What you'll give helps communities around the world.
The value of the geographic data created in Openstreetmap for humanitarian response has already been compelling. The amount of information that's been produced and the utility it has rendered to the humanitarian community is a game changer in humanitarian response.
For the typhoon response, we've had, I think, almost 1,600 volunteers do something like 4.5 million edits to the base map just for the Philippines. And those 1,600 volunteers represent some 3 to 4 years of dedicated mapping that one person would be able to do.
We're asking the question, what if there were more online map givers?
What can happen if we had 10 times the amount of volunteers, 50 times the amount of volunteers? How many areas could we map? How much good could we do in this process?
Let's find out how much good we can do. Map Give today.
So this is the state government, US state government's website where you can contribute to the map, which Openstreetmap. So there are as the IT secretary told, we have to create a good data set before any other disaster comes in our state. So that we can help in any disaster, so we can be prepared. So we can give the data to the disaster management authority of Kerala, so that they can be prepared more efficiently. So please help in submit your each college's mapping activity for the next week's mapping. So across the globe, people are trying to map. So we should have few people from our Kerala also.